Good evening, everyone. Well, yeah, forgive me, I'm a little weird tonight. The my boys are playing the Packers, and well, we got off to what looked like a pretty good start, and now they're doing their usual thing, closing in on the end of the first half, and they're screwing up. So I figured we better stop and pay attention, do a little something with these hamburger bombs we've been talking about. So we're going to do hamburger bombs tonight. The filling is going to be a little bit different. We're going to use cream cheese. I got half an onion from what I was doing earlier today. Aloha pepper we're gonna dice up, and we're going to add a little bit of heat to these bad boys with a couple of jalapenos. I was planning on using cheddar cheese, which normally I would use in something like this with the cream cheese, but because I've got two things of the Mexican four cheese open, we're going to go ahead and work with that instead. So we'll see how those turn out. And we'll go ahead and I'll show you everything chopped up here. I'm not gonna put you through it. You guys have seen me chop everything up. Might show you my me cutting up and prepping the jalapenos because I'm gonna gut them since Misty doesn't handle spice all that well. So I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit on those. But the rest of it you've seen done, and then we'll mix everything together with the cream cheese. Just trying to let that warm up a little bit before I go messing with it, so it's a little more pliable to work with. So it's not bad, but man, it's gonna be cold on the hands. So, all right, folks, let me get this all cut up, and we will show you the next steps. And we're back. It's halftime, and as predicted, my boys look like crap. So, yeah, we'll just not focus on that. Focus on the jalapenos. So, what we're going to do is cut them lengthwise down the side, and then you just take a spoon and go in, and believe it or not, it is the seeds and this fuzzy part on the inside that has most of the heat. So once you get that out of there, and you basically hollow it out like this, that takes away most of the heat. But I don't know, for some reason, even though I'm doing this way, my spidey sense is going off, and I think I'm going to have to make a couple of different batches with this, because I got to do one that's not going to burn Misty up, even though she's a trooper and she'd try it. I may have her try a bite of mine, so see what she thinks. We're going to try and ease her into the hot stuff instead of just smacking it straight at her and going, "We're here." Yeah, it's kind of rude. So I'll do it this way, and if I manage to get a little bit of crossover, that's not going to be a bad thing, because that won't be too hot. But I just don't want to have her bite into it the first go around and come after me with demon eyes. That would not be fun. Even though I do run faster scared than she does angry. Try and not make food that Mama can't eat when we're making dinners. You know, I do enough snacks and lunch stuff. Oh, that was bad. Wow. That was a juicy little sucker. Just gonna drip right up my eyebrow. Hopefully that does not drip down, because that's like being maced. I'll tell you what, I did that the other night, folks. Do not. Jesus Christ, these things are juicy. Just got it on the other eyebrow. Whew. All right, I'm gonna stop. Hang on a sec here. I gotta get a paper towel and get this before it drips down in my eyes. That would not be cool. You're gonna hear Country Comfort introduce me to a whole new round of things. So it would not be polite stuff. Mamas, put your hands over your kids' ears, because it's about to get rude. So what we do is just cut it down into thin rings. And this actually might be a little bit much, but for the one I'm making for the two that I'm making, one for me, one for Sheriff. I'm gonna actually kick them up. I haven't cooked with spice for a little while, so I think tonight, even if my boys aren't hot over at Lambeau Field, we can make things a little spicy here at the house. So, and I'm not gonna use the chopper on it because I don't want it to commingle with the other stuff that we're gonna put in with the cheese and everything. So basically I'm gonna mix this twice. What I'm gonna do is prep this up, set it aside in a bowl, then mix up the rest of the fixins and put that together and stuff hers. And then I did get one wild hair up my butt while I was doing this, and I'll show you a little surprise I'm adding into the mix here. That I didn't think I was going to do it first. And again, I didn't want to mix it in with the other stuff in the chopper here. I didn't want to do any crossover. But this is basically all you got to do is just have a knife that you can roll. You ain't got to be pretty about it. And you can see they kind of go a little bit everywhere. Slice it up when everything starts spreading out. Wrangle them back together like a cowboy. It's one more round. You want to chop it up pretty good. You don't want any big, huge pieces. Like you got one down here that's going to go. Okay, so as I said, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to do this in two different batches. And if you hold on for 1 second, once I get this Harley, you don't want no piece of this. I love you, but you do not want any piece of this. This will burn your biscuits. And I don't think that that kind of heat is good for dogs. Add these in because clean this up right before I got started. All right, watch. All right, guys, I told you I was thinking we needed to add a little something else to it. And, you know, we have said it time and time again, but oh my God, everything, and I mean everything, goes better with bacon. So, what we're going to do is we'll pull a totally different chopper out here, so we don't have any conflicts with what we did for Mama. And do something. I haven't tried this before. We'll see if this works. If it doesn't work, well, we'll have to do something else. But let's see if this. And I get a feeling that didn't work. Yeah, it sort of did. Do a little extra work. Let me see how this came out on the bottom side here. Yeah, no. Nope. That's not going to work. Well, ladies and germs, that just means we're going to have to do it the hard way. What do you do when you get bacon up like this? You just sit here and cut it up. And this is the thing, some of it fried up a little bit faster than what I expected, so it's a little harder. But most of it is not super crispy, which is good. Because we don't want any really surprise hard nuggets in there when you go biting down. But I'm going to dice this up, chop it up good, and mix it in with everything else. Make sure we get all this cut up good. Alright, and very carefully add it into the chopper so it goes in with the other goodies. There we go, look at all that yummy, yummy bacon. So, and all that in. I'm going to take that. here. All together. Well, the bad thing about this is you get really juicy veggies in here. And the pieces stick. You got to get them out. Got to work it. All right, so to that we're going to add cream cheese and the cheese. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And drop it right home in now. It's going to take a little bit of work to get all this incorporated together. Oh. This will make up the bulk of the filling that we're going to put in there. The way to do this, believe it or not, oh, excuse me. Well, that was rude. Is go ahead and use a loose potato masher. So that's why we got everything cut up real small. So go down in between there. Ta-da. Start working everything together here. It's going to take a little bit of work. Actually wanted to add the cream cheese in when the bacon was still a little on the warm side to help bring it up to room temperature. If you do this when you've got it at room temperature, it's easier. And what I'm going through right now, but this will heat everything up, no problem. And we'll get it mixed, and rather than sit there and have you watch me do the whole thing, I'll show you once we what it looks like once we have it done. All right, so here you go. This is with everything mixed together. It's kind of blends it on down nicely, and you can really get a smell of the onions and the bacon and everything in there once it kind of pulverizes some of the veggies a little bit. So this we will set aside and get started on the hamburger. Okay, so this part you guys have seen before. It's not dissimilar to the cheeseburger meatloaf, except this time we're only working with 3 pounds of hamburger. Dropped in there. And we're going to take 2 eggs, add those in. Large of 1. Large of 2. Clean our hands real quick. So we're going to add the breadcrumbs. And again, I like using the Italian style breadcrumbs just because they've got some flavor to them instead of the basic. Shake out a good bit to cover everything up. You don't want it too dry, but then again, you don't want it too moist either. We're also going to add, like I told you, this is a garlic family. You know this one, you've seen it before. Garlic and herb. Put a good dose of that in. Down it goes. This is beef. It may be hamburger, but it's still beef. So we give it that extra kick with a little bouillon. If I get the lid back on it. And I thought for this one, do something a little bit different. Do some sweet and spicy rub with it. Or sweet and smoky rub. I can see it, I just can't say it. So not too dissimilar. It's got some paprika in there. So add that in for a little sweet and smoky flavor. And of course you're going to do salt. Misty said she loves me. She tried to be all quiet. She's made herself some eggs. So there we go. A little bit of pepper in there. And we're going to mix it up like we do with the meatloaf. I said before about playing with meat. I like to make sure I am hermetically safe when I play with my meat. So, one glove. Always practice safe cooking. Misty's over there going, bad visual, get out of my head. All right, here we go. Ooh, it's cold. But it's squeezable. All mixed together here. And I think I'm gonna have to get Misty to come over here and sprinkle some more breadcrumbs in, because I went a little too liquidy with 2 eggs, but you know, that happens. Oh, come on, baby. There you go. That's my paranormal girl. That's right. I didn't marry me a normal wife. I married me a paranormal wife. She takes very good care of me. But she does like it when I cook. So, here we go. So, you notice this one is a little different from the cheeseburger meatloaf. Looks a little more sticky, and it's supposed to because of what we got to do here and how we got to put it together. So, make sure you get this all good and mixed together, because you don't want to have any pockets of explosive flavor and dry powder. Ooh, and I just sit for a minute for my back. Whew. Terrible when you get old. Alright. Here we go. And, honey, before you go wandering, I need you for 2 seconds, maybe 3. Need that big cutting board that's under here. Alright, there we go. And I get this separated out into 3 and then show you guys what we're going to do with it from there. And here we go. We got it rolled out roughly into a log where we can separate it out into thirds. So I'm going to take roughly a third. You don't have to use a knife. I just chose to do so. And again, remember, kind of like the cheeseburger meatloaf, I'm going to flatten it out, but for a different reason. And this time it's not going to be inside of the container. So, just sit and roll it on out again into a smaller log, if you will. There you go. And then we're going to take and flatten this bad boy out. And you want to get it not amazingly, incredibly, horribly, terribly flat, but flattened out good enough where it doesn't stick to anything, but where you got some room where you can work with it. So what we got to do here is now take this and put stuffings into it. So, wash my hands again here real quick. There we go. And we're going to do Misty's first, since it's not going to have any jalapeno in it. thing we're going to do is put down a little layer of cheese at the bottom. Get that set. Get back up here. Use your fingers, you can use a spoon. I'm going to try doing this with a tablespoon here. Don't take too big a blip. Just going to take a couple tablespoons and go down. Get your stuffing down in there. There you go. And I could probably should have gotten a little more beef out and done this maybe with 4 pounds instead of 3, but that's okay. We will make it work. So, your stuffing's on, and then you're going to come back here. You're just going to take and fold this over. And you may have to work a little bit to get the extra in. But you work it so that got it all covered up. Deliberately leave hers a little open at the top so that we can identify it more easily. There we go. You don't want to pull any of the side spots open. So set this, take this and set it aside over here. We'll get the roasting pan that's going to go into. And I highly recommend when you do this, instead of using a regular pan baking sheet like for cookies, you do it with a roasting pan because there's going to be some grease that's going to come out of this. And you do not want to have it drip and drop all over your oven, lest folks like Misty get upset. We don't want that to happen. So, let that set, and for the rest of it, we'll dump in the jalapenos. And incorporate that up. And once I get this all stirred together, mixed up, and the next one's ready, I'll show you what they look like going onto the pan. And here we have, excuse me, the finished product getting ready to go into the oven. We're going to put it in at 375 for about 40 minutes. Should do it. And put a little extra cheese on top. That's Mama's on the side. R2 with the spicier stuff are off on the right. And I saved a little bit of the blend. We might try adding a little bit onto it to melt over the top. We'll wait and see how that all looks. Hey, ladies and gents, here you go. Final product. I think I'm going to add just a smidgy to the top for the heck of it. You notice the cheese crusted up on that. There was actually a reason for that, because they were open at the top. You see how they've opened up here? The cheese on the top crusting up stops some of the innards from leaking outward. So this one's Mama's. These are R2, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little extra on those, and put a little extra cheese on Mama's at the top there. So give it a little extra something on it. But these bad boys are basically done. Let that go. I'm gonna spoon out over here. Get a little extra dollop on the top of that one. A little extra dollop. Come on now. Top meat. Extra, get in. Extra dollop. Maybe a little extra. Not quite enough there. Come on. Just make me some extra. So there you have it. Cheeseburger bombs. Yum, yum, yum. And that's all she wrote.